Welcome back, friends. Friday morning, having some fun. That's right. Well, you've seen the pictures. A thrifty traveler sitting in first class, sipping champagne. Looks expensive, but he never paid a dime. Traveling with a credit card points isn't new, but as people start going places like you, it's becoming popular again. But you have to do it the right way, or else you could get in trouble. Joining us now with someone whose motto is all about helping people get their financial bleep together. I love it. That is my I love that saying. Priya Malani, founder and CEO of Stash Wealth. Hi, Priya. How are you?
Hey, Jason. Thanks for having me.
No, I love this topic. And I was just talking ironically about my vacation, and people are like, oh, that sounds expensive. I'm not kidding, Priya. I follow all of your advice about this. That whole trip, I did Hawaii, I did Orlando. I paid for one portion of that, and the rest was on points. So that leads,
incredible, so easy, right?
Yeah, that leads me to my first question, though, because I used to make this mistake. The general advantage of using a credit card rather than a debit card.
Yeah, that's a really good place to start. And it's crazy because most of the country, in my opinion, feels like using a credit card is just so scary and is the wrong idea. Credit cards are evil, right? But actually, credit cards are really just a smarter way to use the money you already have. I think where people fall into the trap is thinking of a credit card in a way that artificially supports their lifestyle, right? So to pay for a trip that they don't really have the money to take, that's where credit cards can really be, can get you into trouble. So whereas a debit card, you're using money and you watch it deduct directly from your account every single day, a credit card, it's kind of the same thing, except just think of it as a debit card that debits once a month when you pay off your bill in full and on time.
And obviously there are bonuses. And when you get these credit cards, everyone sees these sign-up bonuses. And if you're like me, you are wondering, oh, 100,000 miles for this Delta card looks good. But generally speaking, Priya, are there catches, and how do you catch the catch?
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, obviously, these sign-up bonuses are meant to get you, interested in the cards and to start using them. The reason the credit card companies do this is because they're kind of hoping that you get yourself into trouble, that you get yourself into a situation where you're carrying a revolving balance, because that's where a credit card makes their money. But if you use your credit card to take advantage of the points and only charge up every single month what you can afford to pay off, then you can take advantage of the amazing bonuses, that sign-up bonus, all the rewards points and miles that you can rack up as you spend, and not fall into that cycle. There's actually a really interesting term used in the credit card industry called deadbeat. I don't know if you've ever heard this.
No, what is that?
In the credit card industry, you can look this up. This is for real. It's crazy. They call people who pay their credit cards off in full and on time deadbeats. Like, technical term, that's what you're referred to as if you're using your credit card responsibly, because they don't make any money off of you.
Wow. Well, that makes me feel different. No, I'm still going to pay, but that's not the best term you want to be called.
I know. It's crazy, though. But from their standpoint, they're not making any money off of you. But this is the best way to use a credit card.
Priya, do you have a general rule of how many of these, like maybe, let me give you a hypothetical situation. Someone watching maybe is preparing for a trip in the holidays, and they want to start getting some points, maybe with a Delta card or a Capital One. How many of these should you sign up for? Do you have a general rule on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's tons of gurus out there who can really hack the credit card rewards game, and they open up like multiple cards, 10, 20, 30 cards. But for the average individual, the right number of cards is typically we advise around 2 to 3. The reason why is because that number keeps it pretty manageable. You don't want to be using so many cards that you can't remember which ones have balances on, and let alone just forget to pay those balances off. So 2 to 3, that number really comes from making sure that you can manage the number of credit cards that you have and remember to pay those balances off, and to optimize something in the credit card industry referred to as your credit utilization ratio, which is the amount of credit that you're using relative to the amount of credit that's available to you. So the more cards you have, the more credit is available to you. And what you want to do is you want to make sure you're not using up too much of what's available. How much you're using up of what's available is your credit utilization ratio. For example, if you have 3 credit cards and let's say you have a total available credit of $10,000 and you've charged up on your cards $1,000, you're using 10% of your available credit. And you want to keep your credit utilization ratio at or under 30%. So 10% is a great number, 20%, 30%, but above that, that's where it gets a little tricky and it can hurt your credit score. So 2 to 3 gives you a nice balance of having a large available credit and also not having so many credit cards all over the place that you forget about them and forget to pay them off.
Priya, you mentioned credit score. I have a follow-up question here on that one. Let's say you sign up. Here's another hypothetical. You sign up for a card with a 100,000 mile extra bonus, a sign-up bonus. But that card has an annual fee. So you want those miles to help you with that trip in December. But if you cancel that card before the annual fee kicks in, does that hurt your credit? Bottom line, canceling a card, is it a good idea or a bad idea?
Yeah, it's almost always a bad idea. Instead, you want to take your credit card that you're not using, obviously make sure there's no balance on it, and just stick it in a drawer. The ones that have an annual fee, that gets a little trickier because you have to make sure that you're using or making best use of that fee. There's a lot of cards out there that, range from obviously free all the way up to $500, $600, $700 in an annual fee even. But you don't want to cancel your credit card because then it cancels your credit history and it also cancels that available credit that I spoke about earlier with your credit utilization ratio. So it's not always the best idea to cancel a credit card. We have just under a minute. I want to get to this. You have 3 of your favorite cards. Let's start with a starter card. What's your favorite there? Yeah, there's a new one in the space that's really cool. It's called the Extra. It's actually a debit card that gives you the benefits of a credit card. So for people who are just getting started, typically out there you could only get like what was called a secure credit card. Well, secured credit cards, this is what we consider, this is my favorite alternative. It does have a monthly fee attached to it, but it allows you to earn rewards points and build that credit score. A classic card. This one, I'm going with the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless card. It's a great entry-level card. It does have a $95 annual fee, but you get to earn 2 times points on every purchase. So the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless is my favorite kind of entry-level starter rewards card. I have one of the Bonvoy cards, and I agree with you. Thus, I use that card on that last trip. And finally, an advance card, Priya. Yeah, this is for your real power user, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which came out in 2016 and was all the rage. This card went viral. But if you're really spending a lot on your credit card and paying it off in full every single month, the Chase Sapphire Reserve card is a really, really awesome card with amazing benefits. I love this, Priya. You know, we're a goofy show. We don't do a lot of these segments, but I think this is going to help a lot of people. Will you come back and see us soon? I'd love to. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. For more information, head to stashwealth.com. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. It was great.